Smash the motherfucking like button. We working. New media. New media. Big city of dreams. Ain't always what it seems. You might get fooled when you come from out of. Yeah. Smash the like button. We working. We just gotta warm the mic up. It's the incredible, the lyrical. You can't be me like Niecy. To see me, it's gonna take a miracle. I'm driving motherfuckers hysterical with a touch of this twist, stylistic. Doo-doo. Boo-doo. New York, big city of dreams and every. You know what? I was about to just chill, but I was like, you know what? I got a quick stream in me right now because there was some things I wanted to talk about. I had to drop something off at the UPS store and I was donating. You know, I told you I'm getting back right. I'm feeling so right. Give me a couple G's for every MC I knock to his knees, verbally useless. Oh, you got the juice, I squeeze you juiceless. The barbaric, versatile, you no kin to me, so how the fuck you inherit my style? Now, out the clear blue sky, I get a nod. Now the day goes by. New York, big city of dreams and every. Hey, Corrupt is slept on. Just how he be flowing, he's really slept on. Give me a couple G's for every MC I knock to his knees, verbally useless. Oh, you got the juice, I squeeze you juiceless. The barbaric, versatile, you no kin to me, so how the fuck you inherit my style? Now, out the clear blue sky, I can't deny. Now the day goes by. He was killing. Let's get it, man. We just warming up the mic. Yeah, Corrupt on that top. This dude. You know, I salute to Eminem on that. I think it was a Marshall Mathers album. He said, I got a list. Here's a list of the order that is in. It goes Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie, Andre from Outkast, Jada, Corrupt, Nas, and Nimi. You know, he put Corrupt on that list. Hey. You know, I might come to New York for one of these fights. New York. I love New York, though. Except y'all be putting trash on the fucking sidewalk, B. Why y'all do that? Why y'all put trash on the fucking ground? Be tripping over like hella hefty bags and shit. Hey, New York be wild for that. We don't. I don't know. I'm from Cali. We don't do all that. It'd be like a mountain, like the Great Wall. You know, you go to other places, they got like. Oh, my New Yorkers gonna be mad at me for that. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go to a certain place, you go to like China, they got the Great Wall of China. You go to Stonehenge, you know, Paris got the Eiffel. You go to New York, bags of fucking trash done. Hey, yo, B, word to mother. Word to mother, there's bags of fucking trash on the ground. That's like the monument and shit. And big ass marsupial rats. New York got. They got them fucking Terry Crew ass rats, Terry Crew Expendables ass rats. They be hella big. And New Yorkers, man, shut the fuck up. Dude said don't talk about New York, family. Bro, you about to get blocked, bro. What are you talking about? New York, I'm talking about real shit. What you talking about, bro? Don't talk about New York, family. What? These dudes, oh my gosh, bro. What is you talking about? I just said I love New York. What the fuck? Fake ass Tekashi. What you talking about? Don't talk about New York, bro. Bro, I'm not talking about New York. That's fact. You know, motherfuckers from New York would tell you there's rats, dummy. You probably a rat. You probably working with them boys. What you talking about, man? Y'all, these dudes be sensitive. Oh my gosh. He said just playing lame. You the one that said that, man, you out of here, bro. Yeah, we see who's lame. I don't have time for it. He tried to switch it after I roasted him. Someone said Treyway. Y'all funny. Anyway, see, they always somebody that gotta come in and try to change the vibe, man. Y'all know the vibes, man. Anyway, New York be having them rats. They be having them fucking Debo ass rats. All these niggas around here might be scared of you, but I'm not. Shut up. Debo slapped the shit out of Nia Long. He looked like he was finna cry when she was cussing him out. Craig. Let me borrow your microwave. You been to London, Eagle? I used to live like 35 minutes from London. I used to live in England. I told y'all that. Listen. We gotta talk about it. So, Eddie Hearn's got an interview, right, with IFL, and he says it's so weird. Like, I just feel like people gotta be honest. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have to be real honest. You have to be honest with yourself. Eddie Hearn did this interview with IFL, right? And in the interview, someone said Eddie Hearn. Y'all funny. So in the interview, he says that it's weird because he's giving Tyson Fury props, basically saying Tyson Fury won. That's cool. He says, I was wrong. Tyson proved me wrong. You know, Tyson Fury, he's battling mental health illness. I mean, it's good what he's doing for mental health. And then in the same interview, he's also talking about Wilder Fury wasn't great. Really? Like the whole, like, it just, I feel like you got to make it believable. Like when they come to my channel, no matter what, and say, oh, you're salty. Like no matter what, I'm not salty because I'm not, I didn't really lose. Like a lot of what I've said came true this year. So, I haven't really been off the money, Ego's Army and stuff. But the thing about it is, I'm not understanding it, people. Like he gave all this props to Tyson Fury's battle and like how Tyson Fury proved him wrong. But then he also said that the fight wasn't that great. What? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make it look like you're at least being realistic. That was a good fight. Realistically, I haven't heard anyone that said it wasn't a good fight. It gave you everything. There was some action, sustained action. Clearly, there was drama with that Undertaker shit in the 12th round. You get what I'm saying? Ego Wilder rewatched the fight and said he gave Fury just 2 rounds. I don't know about all that. That seems excessive. Where did I heard Wilder rewatched it, but where was that? I don't know. It just, to me, that sounds excessive. Anyway, go listen to his interview. He says that the fight wasn't that great. Okay. So Kell Brook versus the stripper this weekend. That's great. That's what I'm saying. You gotta at least be realistic. Gerald Miller versus Dinu. Is that great? Was that the fight the world needed? Like for me, it don't matter. See, this is what I'm saying, bro. Like for me, it doesn't matter. Like I'm comfortable being wrong or whatever. Like I don't have to like stray away from the truth like that. Like like I don't have to, if it's gonna make me look like I'm just like hating and stuff. I don't. I'm not gonna do all that. I'll tell you what I really feel. And it's like I said, that if you listen to the interview, it's almost like it almost doesn't even go together because he's giving all these props saying Wilder, basically Wilder should be the next fight for Joshua, and Joshua still wants it. He's still a champion, and what he did in the 12th round. He's talking about how Tyson Fury proved him wrong. But then you also said in that same interview that the fight wasn't great. Was Joshua versus Povetkin great? Was that better? Was that more meaningful? Was Joshua Joseph Parker? That definitely. Povetkin at least was, giving Joshua some good rounds at first. But the Parker fight definitely wasn't like the best Joshua fight or the best heavyweight fight. For sure. You get what I'm saying? So it just makes you like, and for the first time, it's crazy. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna take a look at it right now. The bad thing. Oh, really? Hold on. Wow. Wow. I don't know. Did it just disconnect me? Could y'all still see me, or was I temporarily disconnected? Okay. Hold on one second. I don't know. My computer started bugging out for a minute. All right. Peep this. So, UK fans are loyal and all that. The UK fans are real loyal. So I noticed, I peeped something. A lot of times, no matter what Eddie Hearn is saying, the likes, don't really reflect, because there's IFL is a UK based media, and I'm pretty sure that's probably their highest subscriber base comes from the UK. Like if you were to look at their YouTube analytics, pop under the hood, and for that reason, Eddie Hearn has a lot of fans domestically or UK fans that, believe in him and whatever. But you go to look at this particular interview where he said the fight wasn't great, and he actually has more dislikes, by a considerable margin. It has 800, as of right now, has 890 likes, and it has 1,300, it has 1,300 dislikes, basically. I don't know. I'm trying to see if it tells me the exact number. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it's over 1,300 dislikes. 890 likes. So it's like, Joshua, I'm telling you, more and more people are coming around and seeing what's going on. And you're not going to be able to, like, continue just, I don't know. You're not going to just be able to continue, like, trying to control the narrative and then just say whatever and expect it to go well. Tyson Fury fought his ass off, so to say the fight wasn't great, same with Wilder. No matter who you won or wanted to win and all that, it was a good fight, So just to go out of your way and say the fight wasn't great, it just listen to the interview. You guys assess what it said. Tell me if it sounds like hate, like if he's hating, throwing salt for no reason. Period. So that to me is not a good look, and you actually see it on this particular video where Eddie Hearn is getting a lot of, he's got more dislikes on it, which is not something you always see on his videos on IFL. So, to me, I just feel like just be honest, transparent. That's the best bet. It's not a good look if it looks like you're just throwing shade for no reason. At the end of the day, Wilder and Fury stepped up and did something Joshua did not do as of right now. As of right now, Joshua keeps talking about how he wants to fight Fury, how he wants to fight Wilder, how he'll give either a shot. Talking. Meanwhile, Wilder and Fury walk the walk. They actually knuckled up, you know, and see, people are they're letting the outcome distract them. They're letting the outcome distract them. You know, they're letting the outcome distract you. Beyond the controversy, Wilder and Fury both stepped up. They deserve props just for that. If you thought Wilder knocked out Fury and it was a long count, you still got to give Fury props because he stepped up. If you thought Fury put on a masterclass and outboxed Wilder, still got to give Wilder props because once again, they stepped up. They both knuckled up and they both did the damn thing to even give us something to talk about. You know, elaborate ring walks, a good fight, stuff like that. So for Eddie Hearn to kind of try to throw in little jabs and slights, that, you know, to me, that's petty. You know, that's petty Hearn right there. That's being petty. The other thing is, we're also, another reason why it makes Eddie Hearn look bad is because he's notorious for having said certain things before the fight that didn't come true. So that's another reason why it makes you look like you have an agenda, because you said the fight wasn't going to even happen. You said it wasn't going to happen. You said Tyson Fury is going to pull out. Tyson Fury will find a way out. You said Tyson Fury told you himself that he needed more tune-ups when you offered him a deal. And you said Tyson Fury, based on 2 tune-ups, was ill-equipped to deal with Wilder. You said Tyson Fury is going to get knocked out. So that's what makes it look even worse, is that you weren't, you weren't the biggest champion of this fight. You were basically downplaying the fight, making it sound like it wasn't going to be a good fight. And, if this was Fury at his best, then ... But it's not Fury at his best. Well, guess what? A lot of people thought Fury looked really good. He was moving well or whatever. He got caught. It's a big puncher. He got caught twice. Happens. But, coming from the same person that said none of it would happen to begin with, for you to come back and you might as well just give it up and be like, oh, it was a good fight. It was a good, meaningful fight for boxing. But just listen. Like I said, you don't have to take my word for it. Just listen to the interview. The rest of the interview, he's like giving props to Fury and Wilder and saying this is good, and it created like a 3-way triangle between the good, and it's all good. Then why you got to say it wasn't a great fight? So either way, it makes you look bad. It doesn't look like realistic. Hold on. You just got to be honest, and it doesn't seem like he's being honest, saying it wasn't a good fight. Another thing, I'm not trying to sound petty, but another reason why that makes you look bad is this. It makes you look bad because you're saying this at the press conference for Kell Brook versus Michael Zerafa, who got knocked out by Peter Quillin a couple years ago, and he's a stripper. And Peter Quillin, when he fought Michael Zerafa, the media and fans were like, oh, look at Peter Quillin, another Al Heyman cherry pick. And then this is who Kell Brook's coming to fight. Another thing it looks bad is Kell Brook is begging for the Amir Khan fight. He's been a long time Matchroom, spearhead, and you can't get him the Amir Khan fight, and Amir Khan's in your possession too. Not like he controls Amir Khan, but he's still part of the lineup. And you're talking about another fight's not good. These things don't look good because, it just doesn't sound. It just doesn't sound like, it just sounds like you hating. That's the best way to put it. It doesn't sound realistic. Like, let's say I'm like a director and I'm like, oh, Transformers, that movie looked cheap. That's low budget. That's a low budget looking movie. And we know Transformers has pretty dope, whether you like Transformers movies or not, the special effects are dope, or the Avengers or whatever. So, it's like me saying the Black Panther, Avengers, Transformers, or some shit. Oh, look at them cheap ass special effects. That's some cheap ass special. Look at this low budget movie, and then I go ahead and direct, a movie where the special effects look even cheaper, like the Scorpion King. Scorpion King's graphics look ass. They look horrible. Go watch that movie again. So it just makes you look bad. Or I directed an even lower budget movie like Master P's I Got the Hookup. So you're talking about a big budget movie and saying that it's, the special effects weren't all that, and then you put out a movie where the special effects are worse than that. The fight that, or the movie you're talking about. Those things don't look good. As opposed to just, I don't know, that's what I believe in. I feel like even if I'm not on the same page with somebody, a good job is a good job. Ego, check the Twitter of Chris Mannix. He rewatched the fight with Wilder. Wilder gave Fury 2 rounds, so he scored 118-108 for himself. What is that? Cool. All right. You're saying Chris Mannix scored it like that, or Wilder scored it like that? I'm confused. But anyway, I just feel like give credit where credit's due. Big fight's a big fight. A good fight's a good fight. Even if it's not your fight. And you know what? I give props to Bob Arum because he's been doing that a bit more. Because before, if it wasn't Top Rank related, he would shit on it. That's how I felt. But he just told you, Tyson, he don't have nothing to do with Tyson Fury. He had nothing to do with Wilder. And he just told you that it was a good fight. He told you that Wilder Fury is a good fight. So I give him respect because he's kind of coming out of that shell where, before it was kind of like if it ain't top rank, it's like top rank or bust, And if it wasn't top rank, then he probably didn't have nothing good to say about it. But Bob Arum's even been giving credit to some outside PBC fights or Frank Warren or whoever, And listen, I might as well be a gospel singer because what I keep saying keeps becoming gospel. You start hearing, like, I'm telling you guys this stuff before it happens. I don't know why some of y'all don't understand it. And we gonna keep pushing until we get the full respect and buy-in from everybody in boxing. Not every single body, but you guys get what I'm saying. We just gonna neutralize certain things and keep kicking down doors. I'm damn near a gospel singer because it keeps coming true, and you keep it. I say something, and then you start hearing other respected fighters and trainers and different things. I told you guys immediately after this fight, listen to my thoughts. And people, they always, oh fuck, what does Ego know? And then you start hearing other people say what I'm saying, like people in the industry. Bob Arum, I just told you after the Wilder Fury fight, a lot of pressure on Joshua. Because I said Tyson Fury and Wilder, no matter who you had winning, they both proved, that they're about that life. They both put on a great event, and they're both calling each other the number 1 and 2. Like Wilder thinks he's number 1, of course, and he's saying Tyson Fury is number 2. Tyson Fury thinks he's number 1 and thinks Wilder is number 2. But either way, they're putting each other in those top 2 spots. Either way, this is a lot of pressure. Because Joshua's team can no longer just say, oh, Wilder, he refuses to meet with us. Okay, well, Frank Warren and Tyson Fury have a totally different team. So if you don't fight either of them, then that's going to show you what the culprit is. And I told you there's a lot of pressure. I mentioned these things. Now you have top ranks Bob Arum, been in the game since the 60s or whatever, right? And Bob Arum just did an interview. He's promoting the Lomachenko fight this weekend with Pedraza. And Bob Arum just said that Anthony Joshua is number 3. He said, so all these people tripping saying Wilder, that was a robbery and stuff. You got people like Bob Arum who's still he said Tyson Fury won. He did say that he thought Tyson Fury won. But he's still putting Deontay Wilder above Anthony Joshua. That's a problem. That's a problem because now, so you got Tyson Fury saying he's the top two, him and Wilder top two. You got Wilder saying he's the top two, and even saying that Luis Ortiz is above Joshua. You have Bob Arum, founder of Top Rank, who's publicly doing interviews saying Joshua's number 3. So you got the guy who's saying he's number 1, his team, Eddie Hearn is saying he's number 1, saying he's the mega cash cow, but no one's treating him like that anymore. It's a problem. I'm trying to tell y'all. So that means that, like, you know, you got guys like Luis Ortiz. He keeps calling him out. Joshua ain't gonna fight me. You know, he come out of hiding, come out of your cave. That's what Luis Ortiz said. He said he's a chicken. This is what Luis Ortiz is saying. So, you know, Gerald Miller clearly didn't show him respect at the DAZN kickoff concert. So you get what I'm saying? You got nonstop. You got like nonstop, like the powers that be and or the people that are kind of relevant in boxing. They're not really saying Joshua's number 1 right now. You know, maybe some fans and stuff, and obviously Barry Hearn and Eddie Hearn, but I'm saying outside of that actual camp. Make sure y'all smash the like button. So I'm just telling you, the pendulum is shifting now. It is definitely shifting. And the leverage is slipping away from Joshua. I really believe that. Before, he was the man, and he was the only man that, you know, could say certain things. But now Wilder and Fury just created a whole nother opening. You know, like before, there was a AJ controlled, you know, there was only one route to get to the store. Wilder and Fury just created a whole nother lane. You know, so they don't have to go down, you know, the Anthony Joshua Expressway. They can go down Wilder Fury Boulevard. You know, Bob Arum just said Joshua's number 3. That's crazy. And there's a lot of people who agree with that. And I told y'all who like listen, see, and the other thing is, I'm telling you that the same tricks and like statements that Eddie Hearns and them are saying are starting to sound a lot more moot and like nullified. For example, you know, you sound like a man fan. He's talking about that's a dangerous expressway. If it's so dangerous, then why don't he challenge him? It is what it is. Fight him. All I'm saying is Joshua, if he don't fight either or in April, it's not going to be a good look, people. It's simply put, it's not going to be a good look. Especially when you have your promoters and your promoter's dad and all this, Barry Hearn, saying like, oh, what's the rush? What's so much panic? Why is there so much panic? There's so much that has to be worked out. I mean, how many negotiations do you have to have? Like, okay, we all have a better, like, if you already negotiated with Wilder for 3-4 months and it failed, then, you know, you have to start new negotiations, of course. But what is it? What, you know what happened the first time, so you know what worked and what didn't work. You know what both sides are gonna. So it shouldn't be this ongoing like saga. You get what I'm saying? And at the moment, Joshua, he's just saying that he wants these fights, but we got to see a major push from him. And I told you guys the same shit over and over. Him being ringside at the fight, which is well within, I'm sure, his means. You know, I'm not in charge of his finances or his accountant or anything, but I'm pretty sure that's in his means that he could have been there. He was in Portland, Oregon a day later. So you couldn't, Oregon to LA, you know, you couldn't just make some minor alterations, you know, and been in LA for one day and then shoot off to Oregon for Under Armour ads or whatever you were doing. You know, just, that's what I'm saying. Joshua keeps wanting to do things his way, and the division's moving and booming, and it's making him look bad in the process. You get what I'm saying? It's making him look bad in the process. because he's like, oh, I'm just not going to respond. It's like you kind of have to respond to somebody. You know, you got a lot of top guys saying that. Frank Warren, Tyson Fury, JD's, Shelly Finkel, Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz's trainer. Joseph Parker said Wilder will knock out AJ. You know, you have, all these different people. Gerald Miller said AJ ducked Wilder, and he doesn't know why. It just that can't be the consensus that you're comfortable letting that ride. I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's just how Joshua is. I mean, you're a competitor. That's not a good positioning to be in when, people are coming for you and you don't let them know in some fashion. At least when they're on your level. The belts of Joshua are made in China. So to me, it's not going to cut it just saying you want to, oh yeah, I want to fight Wilder so bad. You're going to have to do something, like show up to his fight, Like you got money, he got money, schedule a meeting with him and your people. Post a picture on social media. We seen it with Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Mayweather and Pacquiao were at that Miami Heat game. The rest was history. Why doesn't Joshua create those opportunities? Why not? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's how it's all like, it can't be that hard. Like, it just can't. Like, there's people on YouTube that live in different regions and respect each other's work, and they find some way to meet in the middle and collaborate. It's not hard. It's not hard. If two people have resources, and communication skill, it's not hard. You be like, oh, yo, Joe Blow, I dig your work. Oh, where you at? Oh, you live in Jersey? All right, cool. And then you collaborate with them. It's not hard at all. But people want to see some type of initiative, I think is the best word, from Team Joshua. Initiative taken. Because you got people who, that's rare in a division where, like, you're the unified champion and people are saying you're the third best. That's like almost unheard of. Like, let's say Terrence Crawford. Even when Terrence Crawford had 2 belts, nobody was saying he was third place at 140. That doesn't even sound right. When Danny Garcia was the man with the most belts at 140, nobody said he was the third best. So to have people saying this about multiple people, saying this about Joshua, it's not a good look, and I think he should do something about it. And for Eddie Hearn's part, it makes him look kind of petty to undermine the success. It's okay. You guys didn't go ringside. You didn't give it attention in that way. You could say there's nothing that hurts you to say it was a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's too much to ask just to say it was a good fight. That's crazy to me. Crazy. Hey, The Bachelor, you wildin'. That's funny though. You tripping. So we're gonna see. But like I said, I gotta give Wilder and Fury props because they, just by fighting, they even made it happen. They just made it possible to even give us something to talk about. AJ just keeps saying he wants to fight these guys. And Eddie Hearn even said in this interview, oh, if they rematch each other, we got to look for someone, Dillian White or Usyk, blah, blah, blah. If the priority is really Wilder, why do we always hear Eddie Hearns? Why do we always hear him mention so many other people? You know what I'm saying? He's always mentioning other people. You know, for Joshua, if you really want Wilder, why not just focus on Wilder and Tyson Fury? You know, instead you hear about, there's 2 wild cards, and Gerald Miller and Derek Chisora, Dillian White, Usyk. Why? Why not just say, like, this is the guy we gunning for? Why even mention those? Because he's mentioned, this is what Top Rank used to do. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all need to smarten up, Nas. Smarten up, Nas. Top Rank used to do the same thing with Pacquiao. They'll say, Pacquiao may fight Lucas Matisse. I'm talking about years ago when Matisse was a killer at 140. You know, they'd be like, he might fight Amir Khan, Danny Garcia, Lucas Matisse. You know, all these great names that people really want to see. Errol Spence, Keith Thurman. Yeah, Keith Thurman's possible. And, you know, Mikey Garcia. People are salivating over these fights. And they're like, after all these like great names, they will say, or Tim Bradley. And then guess who Pacquiao would fight? Tim Bradley 2, Tim Bradley 3. When you just made everyone believe that Keith Thurman and Pacquiao could be a thing, Spence, you know, Kell, Brook, all these other great fights. Just like every time Pacquiao's fighting Chris Algieri, Rios, they mention Floyd Mayweather, you know, before the fight happened. That's what it's like with Anthony Joshua. It's like you're saying the great name. Oh, yeah, he really wants to fight Tyson Fury. He really wants to fight Wilder. But then you're also mentioning these other people, and it keeps being these other people. You know, and just listen to the way they talk. They're saying stuff to the effect of like, oh, no rush. What's up with the panic? And you're saying do it for the fans. We're not going to have anyone yell at us. And we have to overpay guys. You know, that type of jargon and banter, that's telling you what the problem is, you know, because it's always like, oh, AJ's the biggest star. Oh, he's a commercial success. Oh, AJ, you know, he calls a shot. They're telling you, they're telling you their positioning just in the regular interviews. Inadvertently, they're telling you, you know, AJ, he's the biggest star. Oh, we got to overpay these guys 6 to 7. Oh, be reasonable with your demand. You know, every single time is that type of those types of notions and comments added, instead of just saying, oh yeah, Deontay Wilder's a good fight, we're gonna really try to make the fight. Boom. It's always like, oh, we gotta overpay Wilder, and Wilder hasn't sold out a stadium, we're the A side, we're the you know, like that prima donna type of, you know, chin in the air type of stuff. It's always extra. Like I said, when there's opponents listed, it's never Anthony Joshua, Wilder, or Fury. It's like, oh, we really want Wilder, but he might fight Joseph Parker. He might fight Kubrat Pulev. He might fight Pavek. You know what I'm saying? Because they know the Wilder fight, if they want it or not. And it doesn't look like they wanted it. So. Amount of people who know Joshua at all. Fury stole Joshua's shine. He made it worse by not being there. I told y'all. That would have been epic for the heavyweight division. You know. You couldn't ask for nothing better. You know, the triangle of people that want to fight, a draw, and then Anthony Joshua was there too on top of it. You know, but they didn't want to, contribute to the visibility of the event, or, you know, Joshua doesn't want to talk to him in person. I don't know. Whatever it is, they weren't there for it. You know, anybody can get on Twitter after and say their piece. So, yeah, the fight was good too. And then on top of that, Joshua said he's going to Derek Chisora, Dillian White too. You know, so it makes it look like you scouting that more than you scouting the fight that you really want, which is Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. That just doesn't make sense to me. You know, like if you're really in the market of buying a new car and you want an Infiniti, why wouldn't you not go to the Infiniti dealership? Why would you go to, you know, like Chevy, Toyota, you go into all these other dealerships, but you really want an Infinity. You want to get that Q45, and you go into every other dealership but the Infinity dealership. You know what I'm saying? That just, to me, that don't make sense. Dillian White is on the Dominic Brazil level. Keep these guys on the undercard. We'll see how it all plays out. I hope for the sport and the growth of it. Hope it pans out the right way. But just be honest. Eddie Hearn talking about the fight wasn't that great, really. And go look at the dislikes on it. It tells you what people think. Because now before when they said something, it was like reaching. Like Barry Hearn just did his interview post Wilder Fury, and he said they didn't sell out the venue. Man, that shit was packed. I don't know if they filled out every single isolated seat, but the fight was good. They had great walkouts. They had some celebrities in the building. It was filled in nicely. The event was good. We seen some knockouts. Just overall a good night of boxing. So for you to be like, oh, they didn't sell out the whole arena, that's just, to me, that's petty. And see, some of you guys don't understand. Mayweather versus McGregor didn't sell out. There were extra tickets left. A lot of times, they price the tickets based on what they think people will pay. So if they price the ticket, it sounds like they priced the Wilder Fury tickets too high, because I know someone that was gonna go, and they said the cheapest ticket was that at a week or two after they went on sale, the cheapest ticket was $500, and they're like, I'm not paying $500 for one seat. Yeah, I mean, if Joshua fights Dillian White, then good luck with that. And then DAZN, they're just making it worse, because DAZN and Anthony Joshua put these polls up. DAZN on their Twitter and stuff, and AJ on his Twitter said, who you want me to fight next? And then the DAZN recent one, it has a picture of Wilder and Fury in the background, in the graphic. So if he fight, why don't you put a picture of Dillian White in the background of the graphic? You know what I'm saying? Why put Wilder and Fury? See, that's, like I said, this is like what Top Rank used to do with Pacquiao. Pacquiao fighting Chris Algieri, and you talking about Mayweather. Like, who do you want to see Pacquiao? You're trying to keep the talk about that, but the reality of it is he's fighting Chris Algieri, not Mayweather. Ego, what do you think of Chisora White? I mean, it's cool. It's solid, but I just don't think that is the type of fight where the winner gets a shot at 4 belts. You get what I'm saying? The first fight was fun. You see, I don't lie. I just keep it a buck. First fight was fun. I thought Derek Chisora won it. So the second fight will probably be entertaining. Derek Chisora said, I'm gonna go through him and like diarrhea or some shit, whatever he was talking about. So it'll probably be a fun fight, but there's a difference. People got to understand the difference between meaningful and fun fights, and the difference between the two. There's a lot of fights that don't really mean much, but they're like Brandon Rios versus Ramon Alvarez. That was fun. Doesn't really mean anything. What does that mean to a 154-pound division? Those dudes would get crucified by like Jermell Charlo at that weight. But between them two, where they're at, Raymond Alvarez having multiple losses, Rios having multiple losses, it was a fun fight. So, you got to understand the difference and significance. So, I think it'll be a good fight action-wise, but I just think, like, Dillian White, he's done pretty well for himself since losing to AJ. AJ wasn't even a champion. You got to look at it like AJ knocked him out, and he wasn't even a champion. AJ, without a doubt, is better now than he was then, because you don't just keep winning as a champion and getting past Klitschko's and Povetkin's and stuff with your confidence. It should be growing with it. You get what I'm saying? So for me to justify a reason to see a guy who got knocked out versus the same guy again, and he got knocked out when he wasn't even a champion, when AJ wasn't even a champion. And now that he is a champion with a lot more experience and bigger fights, you know, than the Dillian White fight under his resume, you got to justify why we're watching that again, you know? So if they were going to make it, I told you, if Dillian White fought Gerald Miller and then the winner got AJ, if you couldn't make the Wilder fight, that's one thing. If Dillian White fought Luis King Kong Ortiz and then the winner got AJ, that's one thing. Joe Joyce is like 33, so if Joe Joyce fought Dillian White, you know, something like that. You know, I'm always going to prefer the fresh matchup to a recycled matchup, unless there's a real reason, like Wilder Fury, Ward Kovalev. You know, it has to be a reason why we're watching an immediate rematch or a rematch. AJ brutally knocked out White, crazy fight. That's what I'm saying. It was a bad knockout, and AJ wasn't even a champion. He's better now, so why do I got to see that again? Because Dillian White, although he's climbed back up the ladder, to me, he hasn't fought just that one single name where I'm like, oh, okay, he's definitely going to beat AJ, or he's definitely going to create, you know, more problems than he did in the first fight. To do that, if he beat Luis Ortiz, then I'd be like, okay, he's definitely, if he knocked out Luis Ortiz like he did Lucas Brown, then I'd be like, wow. Shit. Okay. If you can't make the Wilder fight, you know, it just makes more sense. You know, people would really be like, oh shit. Okay. And then you wouldn't hear as many complaints. But it's the process. You see it, you know. If you're not going to fight Tyson Fury, you're not going to fight Deontay Wilder, and then you're going to possibly rematch Dillian White because he beat Joseph Parker coming off a loss to AJ, because Joseph Parker arguably didn't even beat Andy Ruiz to even get the title. He looked suspect versus Raz Kujanu, who Luis Ortiz obliterated. I was there in 2 rounds. Parker went the full 12 rounds or 10 rounds with him and didn't look good, you know. And Joseph Parker also he got dropped twice. One was not even a real knockdown, but the other one was. And then Joseph Parker also almost knocked out Dillian White in the 12th round, you know. And Lucas Brown, who had failed 2 drug tests, and he was, you know, inactive because he was suspended and stuff like that. Plus, who's Lucas Brown really beat? You know, he had that one upset against I think he fought a Russian dude or whatever. I forgot dude's name off the top of my head. Yeah, he had an upset then, and now, you know, that was his big. But then he had the drug scandals, and then as a result, he was on the sideline. He was supposed to fight Shannon Briggs. The fight got canceled. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, those performances to me don't stipulate the need for Dillian White. That's good that he won them. Robert Helenius and stuff, those don't really show me nothing. If you beat Gerald Miller, Luis Ortiz, even Dominic Brazil would probably show me more than, you know, beating Robert Helenius or somebody. So I just don't, me personally, I don't think that should be the precursor to AJ versus Dillian White too. But again, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, that's a great name, Matchroom, because they're trying to cleverly match the people and manifest what they want to happen. Like, it's boxing, anything can happen. You know, Derek Chisora, he upset Takam, so there's a chance that he can upset Dillian White. There is a chance. But at the same time, you're dealing with numbers and probabilities. What's the probability? If Derek Chisora beat Dillian White the first time, right? In my opinion, he beat him the first time and they still didn't give it to him. So if it's the same type of fight, and you know that that's somebody that they're possibly thinking of for AJ in April, why are they going to give it to him now? Why are they gonna give Derek Chisora? So Derek Chisora is probably gonna have to get a knockout or a super dominant and show mad separation, like, you know, multiple knockdowns or something that's so defining that they even give him the fight. So probability is definitely on Dillian White's side. Again, Derek Chisora, he can change the course of that. It's a heavyweight division. You know, he can knock out Dillian White or put on a dominant performance, but again, you're dealing with gambles and probability. Barry Hearn told you this. He told you this. You know, you got to look at like the likelihood of this happening. Yeah, we see upsets, but at the same time, more often than not, you know, what's supposed to happen does happen. People just literally, it's like, it's like a video game. Man, my analogy's been on point lately. Listen, I got a good analogy. Let's say you're playing Call of Duty and your energy bar keeps going down and you're on your last little bit of energy and you're running for cover and you see a health pack, you know, with the little medical cross, and you see it and then you take it and then your energy goes up more. So you were like one shot away from, you know, being killed, but then as you're going for cover, you found that health pack and it boosts you up. So now you've extended yourself. This is precisely what Derek Chisora did. People said Derek Chisora was done and they were counting him out. But since he fought on the Dillian Whyte, Joseph Parker undercard and he beat Takam, who AJ also knocked out, do you guys see a pattern? It extended his health bar. You know, because they're like, oh, he knocked out Takam. Now we got to make Derek Chisora versus Dillian Whyte. You know, they're on the same card. You know, we can milk the public, sell out a quick 19, 20,000 in the UK because the UK fans are loyal, you know, and then, you know, have that event. And then Joshua could fight the winner, which probability would give more credence to Dillian Whyte winning. But it's crazy. Like, just listen to what I'm saying. Like, out of all these guys, name somebody who had only been beaten once that any of these guys been beaten. Or like some guy who had crazy momentum. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, just like I said, crazy momentum. Okay, this is why I don't want to see Dillian Whyte versus AJ2 unless Dillian Whyte were to fight Gerald Miller like a Luis Ortiz or something. Because AJ beat Joseph Parker. Coming off that loss, Joseph Parker fought Dillian Whyte and he got him and beat him. So we just watched Dillian Whyte beat someone after AJ immediately after. No in between fights or nothing. Right? Derek Chisora just knocked out Carlos Takam after AJ knocked out Carlos Takam. After Alexander Povetkin knocked out Carlos Takam. AJ just beat Alexander Povetkin, who knocked out Takam. And then AJ then knocked out Takam. And then Derek Chisora knocked out Takam. So, you know, that's cool for Derek Chisora's career, but I just don't see that as being like he knocked out a guy who had recently been knocked out by AJ. And before that was knocked out by Povetkin. So I don't see that as being like the Dillian Whyte and Chisora is this massive defining Wild Wild West showdown at the saloon. You know, Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz, that would show me something. That would show me a whole lot more to me. Because Luis Ortiz, the only person who's beaten him is Deontay Wilder, who, you know, was getting outboxed and weighed 209 pounds on fight night and still nearly slept Tyson Fury, who's 6'10", you know. And Luis Ortiz was knocked out, but he was more conscious than Fury looked in the 12th round. Man, I hope Derek Chisora does well, man, because I don't like when the promoters try to like play God and this stuff, you know, like try to set up a bunch of matches that, you know, and structure it because they think they can dictate what happens. I don't know. I just like underdog stories. You know, I'm a big fan of underdogs. You know, that's why I liked what happened with Tyson Fury, just that he did better than people thought and all that. But to me, it's just, I don't know. I personally would rather see Dillian Whyte. He's a good fighter, but I'd rather see Dillian Whyte go through one more stringent test before AJ. Because if not, then that's just a rematch we already seen. So if AJ beats him again, then it'd be like, okay, he already knocked you out before he became a champion. Now he just beat you again. Like, what does that mean? Meanwhile, you got Tyson Fury, who's just boxing his ass off, and Deontay Wilder, who everybody has at least been hurt by him. You know, he doesn't have all knockouts anymore, but every single person has badly been hurt by him. You know, that's just still a better fight. Yeah, Wilder's getting a crazy amount of hate. It's ridiculous right now. But see, that's the thing. Someone said Usyk can be a fresh meat in the mix. I like Usyk, but let him develop as a heavyweight. I don't want. Why would I want to see him fight AJ off the rip? You know, Holyfield didn't even do that. He didn't just fight immediately. Who did he fight when he got Buster Douglas? He didn't just immediately fight him this first fight. You know, let him come up and see what he's working with. It's a whole different division at the heavyweight division. Anyway, I'm out. I just wanted to rap to y'all real quick. Smash the like button. We working. Wilder's black, powerful, and outspoken. Not many people like that combination in America and around the world. Amen. The vampire stream. We might do a vampire stream. I gotta see what the engagement and stuff looks like on this. Anyway, holla at your boy. We working. Can't wait to see what Team Joshua does next. Shout out to Wilder and Fury.